Arsenal won, Man City won. What a fucking shit game. Absolutely unbelievable. And you know what? I'm going to be absolutely brutally honest about this. That's on Arteta. This is all on Arteta here. I gave him a bit of credit, right? I gave him a little bit of leeway when he did it at Liverpool. You know, you're going to Anfield. We don't really win there. Obviously Liverpool massive favourites to win the Premier League. I tried. I tried to give him a bit of credit there and say, okay, it's a hostile environment. But in your own ground, in your own field, in your own stadium, he's playing three central defensive mids, or at least defensive-minded midfielders. How negative can you be? And here's the thing, they've been struggling. Man City, they've been struggling a little bit this season. I personally don't think they've been all that great. They certainly weren't all that great playing against us. But what I can't understand is why we're playing so defensively in the midfield in our own stadium. And to top all that off, we're playing bloody Trossard, who isn't even a second choice left wing. But I take that back, he's not even a fourth choice left wing for me. Yeah, he's a fourth choice left wing. But this is Arteta all over again. Sometimes he just doesn't make sense. He's absolutely stubborn. He's stubborn. How can you be stubborn and naive at the same time? I don't understand. And to top all that off, how the hell do we get broken down so easily when we have three defensive-minded midfielders? What is Arteta playing at now? Playing three defensive-minded midfielders and we still got opened up. That's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. And then after that, we had a little bit of opportunity in the first half, mostly coming from Noni Madueke, who to me was the undisputed best player that we had on that first half. And what happens to him? He gets subbed off. That makes no sense. Trossard, the shittest player that we had, stayed on, but Noni Madueke, the best player we had, he had to get subbed off. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Arteta, he should have, if he wanted to bring on Saka, he should have brought Saka on, taken off Trossard, and put Noni Madueke on the left wing. But why wasn't Eze even starting? Eze, you could say, is our first choice left wing. Although I personally prefer him being in the midfield. But he's our first choice left wing. I mean, we've got to be blunt about this now. Arteta's too scared. He's too scared. He's too negative. This isn't good enough for me. It shouldn't be good enough for anyone. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But this is going to turn out to be another long season. And Liverpool are absolutely loving this right now. They're what, 5 points clear now? 5 points clear, and everyone's dropping points around them. They're not dropping any points. This looks like another Liverpool win, if I'm honest. Liverpool might win the league. And let's be honest, that's on Arteta now. Arteta is now on his fourth opportunity to win the Premier League, and it doesn't look like he's going to get over the line. He looks like he's too afraid to get over the line. It doesn't add up to me. Nothing makes sense. Nothing that this guy does makes any sense anymore. And yes, you can grant that Man City, they were playing quote-unquote dark arts football. You know, the same thing that we got shat on after we did it at their field when we were down to 10 men. You won't hear that on the media or anything because it's the media and it's not Arsenal doing it. But still, I'm not looking at Man City. If we were in Man City's position, we would have done the same thing. We're looking at Arsenal, and we're telling now that Arteta is too negative. He doesn't make any sense. He's too scared to take on any big 16. City were there for the taking. So was Liverpool. And we just didn't do it. And the funny thing is, it took Martinelli again to come on and sort something out. And I've noticed he does that quite a lot in the central forward area. If you get him going forward, the amount of pace that he has. Well, regardless, we could have won today. We could have won today, and winning would have been so important for us. It would have kept us firmly in contest with Liverpool. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's out of our hands. Liverpool right now, they have it to lose, and they won't lose it. Liverpool won't lose it. They don't have the mentality to lose it. But anyways, we're going to go into player ratings now. Starting off in goal, David Raya. Look, he did make some important saves. Other than that, didn't have too much else to do. I'll give him a 6, maybe a 6.5. He did keep us in the game when they did catch us on the counter. Can't really fault him for the goal that was conceded. I'm going to move on to Timber now. And Timber, he looks very shaky. I can't lie. Especially in the first half. I think everyone looked shaky in the first half, if I'm honest. We were giving the ball away for fun. But Timber, I think our whole back line does have to get a bit of credit. They did, yes, they did concede, but that mistake realistically came from the midfielder. And I don't even know who made it. That's the thing. I don't know who made the mistake. But Timber, overall, I'm going to give him 6.5 too. William Saliba. I wouldn't have started him, if I'm honest. I didn't want to start William Saliba. I thought Mosquera was just too undroppable. But Saliba didn't have a bad game at all. 7, I guess. Gabriel. Gabriel lost the ball a fair bit in that game. He had his moments, but I wasn't overly impressed. 6. Calafiori, I think he had a slightly better performance than Gabriel, to be honest. I think he was a bit more in the face of Man City. I'll give him a 7. Zubimendi, he didn't seem like the Zubimendi that we've known for a while. When he lost the ball, he actually lost it. I don't know if that's a compliment to City or if it's an insult to Zubimendi, but regardless, it's not good enough for us. Zubimendi, he did go forward a fair bit, but I'll give him maybe a 7? Question mark. Declan Rice. I'm saying this now. Declan Rice and Mikel Merino are just not working out. I hate that midfield. I hate that midfield lineup. It doesn't work. We should have had at least one attacking midfielder, and that one attacking midfielder should have either been Ethan Nwaneri or Eberechi Eze. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to put 3 defensive-minded midfielders out anymore. But Declan Rice, he does carry the ball forward, but he's not really that guy who's going to find that pass, that like absolutely magical pass that puts us in a good position. But he's a good player for what he's worth. Today, didn't really stand out to me, if I'm honest. I'm going to give him a 6.5. Mikel Merino, I wasn't impressed, really. He's playing in a kind of way that I don't think he really wants to, but I'm not a fan of this. A 6, maybe? Madueke. If it wasn't for Martinelli, Madueke would have been my man of the match. But Madueke, he's the only one who actually looked like he was going forward, who was actually doing anything with the ball. And he did do a lot, to be fair. He did do a fair bit with the ball, and it's an absolute shame that he got substituted off. He was our best player on the pitch. I'm giving him an 8. Gyökeres. Now Gyökeres, he doesn't get the ball quite so often, and that's more of a fault of the people around him. He has been making some impressive runs, but I can't give him more than a 6 because he's not getting anything. Gyökeres gets a 6. Trossard, that geezer gets a 2. A 2. Almost every touch on the ball, I swear he made a mistake. He was not good enough. He's not even third choice left wing to me. He's fourth choice. But look, he's not good enough. I don't even know why he was starting. He's meant to be a quote-unquote impact player, but he's still starting. He gets a 2. It was such a poor performance from him. You know, I wanted to just cry when at the moment I saw him that he was coming on. I guess my man of the match obviously has to be Martinelli. Martinelli, in that one moment, did more than what Trossard did all game. And Trossard made it to what, 80 minutes before getting subbed off? Makes no sense. But I do have an honourable mention of Eberechi Eze. Of course, he got the assist, and it was a beautiful assist. But it goes to show the difference that it makes putting an attacking midfielder in this squad. We needed that, and I don't know why Arteta doesn't see it. But he won't see it. Arteta won't see what he doesn't want to see. He's too stubborn. He's too naive. He's too convinced that his way works. Speaking of Arteta, actually, I'm giving him a 0. I was not impressed whatsoever. So negative in your own ground against a team who, if you ask me, I think we have a better overall squad than Man City. I think our squad's better. It's just that we don't have the leadership now. We need to have a leader who's going to get us together and say, have a go at them. You're better than them. You can win against them. Why isn't Arteta doing that? Arteta gets a 0. Not impressed. Referee, he gets a 0 as well. First half of the game, referee had about as much authority as Eric Cartman did. But he didn't do anything. It was like every time someone fell down, even if it was a foul, the referee played it on. And the fact that Donnarumma was wasting time all game, and it just goes to show that he didn't want to do anything in that game. He didn't want to affect the game. Either that or he's in Man City's pocket, one or the other. But it's a poor performance from the referee, no matter what way you look at it. It's a poor performance from the referee, 0. And as for the fans, I give them 100. I give them 10 million. The fans were the ones that brought everything back to life. And Jimmy, when that goal went in, when Martinelli scored that goal, they celebrated more than I did. Which is not saying much because I didn't celebrate at all. I was so furious with this team. So furious with Arteta, I couldn't even bring myself to celebrate. I was looking at this saying we shouldn't have drawn this game. We should have come into this game, put on a performance, try to win. But the fans, they backed the team 110%, even when we were losing. But anyways, that's my match review. Like, share, and comment, and please do subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I will see you for the match review for... what is our next game? For Port Vale. Goodbye for now.